Here to help Tina work through her fear is hypnotherapist Dr. Nancy Irwin, okay? Hi, Nancy. How are you? Stand up. Thank you. Now, let me clarify. You're a hypnotherapist,
Yes.
not a hypnotist.
Exactly.
Okay. For our audience, can you tell us the difference between the two?
Absolutely. Hypnotherapist, I use my powers for therapeutic reasons. I don't do stage hypnosis, which is very real and powerful too. But I use it one-on-one in the clinic to help people like Tina overcome fears and phobias, stop smoking, manage weight, etc. Cure insomnia, things like that.
Right. And what are we going to do today? What are you going to do with Tina here to help her?
Well, I want to plug her back into her power.
Right.
Because she was born with it. We all are. We're only born with two fears. Fear of falling and fear of loud noises. Obviously, as animals in the jungle, those are to protect us from an evolutionary standpoint. We need those so we can survive as a species. If
so how do bugs enter that picture?
My point exactly. You learn that. All the other fears are learned.
Okay.
And whatever we learn, we can unlearn. So we're just going to kind of unplug you, plug you back into your power.
What do we do? I just gotta.
Well, I can promise you're going to feel good. It's about as scary as having a massage. What we're going to do is it's a deep state of relaxation. See, right now your brain waves are going like that. They're processing information just like the EKG. When you're in trance, like massage, yoga, praying, deeply engrossed in a book or a movie, your brain waves slow way down to an alpha state, highly receptive to new data. So just by deeply relaxing you, you'll be awake. You'll hear everything I say. You might kind of zone in and out. It doesn't matter. I don't care what you're thinking up here. Even if you're going, oh, this is stupid, it's not going to work. I don't care. Because I'm reprogramming your subconscious for what you do want. Because right now, it's running on the only default setting it's ever had, which has been panic at the thought of speaking.
So how's she doing? How's her heart rate?
Her heart rate's doing pretty good. It's a little bit higher than when we first set her from her normal heart rate. But she's still relaxed. It's not bumping way up past the 100s.
Dr. Irwin, how was it for you?
It was great. She had a really enormous shift. Wait till you see her in her pitch meeting next week. She's going to be off the hook.
How about it?
Hello, my name is Tina Nicotera, and I would like to be elected executive producer of The Greg Behrendt Show. If elected, I will be instituting Brad Pitt Week. 5 solid days of Brad Pitt. So please, don't forget, vote for me, Tina Nicotera, for executive producer of The Greg Behrendt Show.
Yeah. Do you feel better?
I do.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Irwin. Tina, we'll see you in a pitch meeting. We'll be right back.
Tell us, what is hypnobirthing?
It's based on the philosophy of that a woman can summon her own natural birthing instincts when educated, relaxed, empowered. Her body and her baby know exactly what to do.
So the phrase natural childbirth is really redundant. You're saying childbirth can be done naturally anyway through this method. Interesting. Let's talk about the father. Let's bring these poor guys into the mix because they get brutalized. Most of my friends who are like, they tell me halfway through the process and when they start going through the heavy contractions, it's like they want to start ripping valuable parts off the man, filing for divorce. Can this process help them enjoy it?
Yes, because the dads in the course of hypnobirthing, in the classes, they learn the breathing techniques, and then in the second class they get to put the moms into hypnosis, and they bond, so they practice together. And the dads love that they can put the moms into hypnosis. They become the hypnotist.
I'm sure. Well, I know you have some beautiful pictures here. This one you have, this is right after the birth. How long after this woman gave birth was the shot taken?
15 minutes.
This is 15 minutes after the birth of this baby.
She was just blissed out.
Do you think animals do this naturally?
Yes.
So you're just recreating, we inherently know how to do this, and you're just returning people to their natural. The body knows what to do. That's amazing.
Hello and welcome to On Point. My name is Annabella Arden. You were an actor and now you're a therapist. And how can one know if this is the right career for the child?
Well, I think it's very clear Isabella really loves it, and I get a real true sense from her that it's nothing but fun. I don't get any kind of pressure from her. The only thing I did want to ask her is what she meant by doing the weird things.
I mean, like not using the money for just like toys or all that weird, yeah.
Toys are weird to you?
Well, I mean, like anything that wouldn't be really useful.
Oh, for your business.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. I think everybody knows what they want to, really knows deep inside if they want to do it or not. If not, you know, sometimes it's a path and you just walk on it, you go on it for a while and it doesn't work out, it's not fulfilling. You know when it's time to get off that path and it doesn't hurt. That's the way it did it for me. I was actually a stand-up comic. And the road from comedy to mental health is a short one, let me tell you. But it just got to a point where I was more fulfilled in pursuing psychology and therapy and working with some abused kids, which is how I fell into it. And it just kind of underscored, you know, entertainment is just not that fulfilling for me. It stopped being fun. It was for a while, and then it stopped being fun. It was like being at a great party, and then you know when it's time to go. You've reached your, you know, you've had enough. And so it wasn't painful at all.
We were talking about that it's easier to deal with the rejection if you have short-term goals versus having long-term goals.
Absolutely.
And how does this work?
Well, it could be very overwhelming to look at the big picture and, you know, she's what, 6 years old and say, I'm going to win an Oscar when I'm 21. You would go crazy. Just like you're in first grade now, you'd be overwhelmed if you started worrying about what college you're going to go to now. Then you don't get overwhelmed with, oh my God, when am I going to win my Oscar?
So even an audition could be a goal. I just want to get an audition and feel comfortable there.
Absolutely. That is your goal, just to go out and knock it out of the park. Do the best you can with all the circumstances you can control. You can't judge who they want. If they want a blonde or a redhead, you can't. All you can do is be the best you can. Be prepared, know your lines, dress appropriately, have updated headshots and all that stuff, and just go in there and be the best person you can be.
So how can a child benefit from working in this industry, Nancy?
Well, clearly she's having fun. It's teaching her financial responsibility, which is never too soon to take that on. As soon as they learn how to count money on a small scale and have a piggy bank, they can count on a big scale too. And it's great. She's saving so much for college and weird things. So that's wonderful. And it's going to give her balance because commercials, you know, they frequently have you take on other skills you haven't done. I mean, she knows how to ride a horse and a bike, and maybe they'll have her do something else that's a new skill for her. So it's a very broadening experience. Any kid that can learn rejection that soon and deal with it, it's way ahead of the game. Because there's a lot of people who don't go out for anything, their first job when they're 21 and they get rejected and they're devastated. So it's not exclusive to the performing community dealing with rejection. So she's got a valuable opportunity. If you can deal with rejection, you got life licked. The typical profile of one of our kids is that they were abused in the home, sexually abused in the home, ran away from the home to escape the abuse, ironically ended up prostituting on the street for a place to sleep and a meal to have. The youngest that I can recall was an 8-year-old girl, and she was not molested in the home. Her story was a little different. She came from a drug background. Her mother lived on the street and was a heroin addict, and would send this little girl out to, pardon my language, but give blowjobs to guys on the street for $25 pop. And if she didn't come back with enough money for the next heroin fix, then the mother would put lit cigarettes out on her arms and her legs. And this little girl had many issues. She was sadly, one of our sad cases who was constantly in and out, as we call it, a revolving door kid. Kids come in of their own volition. We're privately funded. That's why we work so beautifully, because they're not coming from the government. And most of them have been to juvie hall, and they would rather stay with us. So it's a very moving experience to watch these kids in their life planning classes, because most of them haven't thought past being a hooker or posing in child pornography. They can't even think past that. It's all they've ever known, or it's just been droned into them so long. So we encourage them that they can be whatever they want to be. And it's refreshing that many of them do want to go into social services. It's not all gloom and doom like you might imagine. They really start bonding with each other. These kids are dying to vent and to heal. They're usually very forthcoming and very creative, and the poetry, which I'll share some of that with you in a few moments, is just heart-wrenching, some of it.